everyone. On my way home from work today, and I am going to stop by the health food store. I need to grab some elderberry syrup real quick, and then I'm going to go home. I don't know what I'm going to make for supper. I really don't want to cook anything, but I have to cook something if I'm going to eat and stay keto. I thought about stopping and getting my husband and daughter some pizza, but then I would just eat 2 or 3 pieces of it, and that would be my supper, and I'd rather eat something a little more healthy. I do know that I have pork chops at home, so I could just broil some pork chops. That's the way that we like them the best. So I could broil some pork chops, and then make my husband and daughter macaroni and cheese or fried potatoes or something like that to go with it. And then I would either make me some green beans or broccoli, anything like that. I'm still not sure what we're having for supper. That's my thought. But anyway, so I'm going to run into the health food store, and when I get back out here, I will tell you how much I paid for the elderberry syrup and how big the ounces are. I'm going to try to find the adult and the children's. Last time they only had the adults, which my daughter will take. She just doesn't like the flavor of it as well. They're both grape flavored. The adult one's just a lot stronger, but I buy that during cold and flu season. And then anytime that the school sends home that they've had some people sick or people with the stomach bug, I make sure and give our family that a week or so after we find out that somebody that's been near us has been sick. And so far, that has kept us from getting sick and kept us from ever catching the flu. So I'm going to run in here real quick, get the elderberry syrup, and I'll be right back. I am back from inside the health food store, and I got the elderberry syrup. It was $10.48 for, let's see, 8 fluid ounces. It's this big. Last time I got this from him, I got the Now brand. This time it's Vitacost, and that's the kind that I got now. And I asked him what was the difference, why, we kind of like the flavor of the one that we had. And he said elderberry is going to taste like elderberry. It's all going to be grape flavored. And he said, so he just switched brands because the cost was $5 cheaper. It was almost $15, maybe $18 last time I bought it. So I'm okay with this new price of $10. It cost me $11.53. And the gentleman did have the children's elderberry syrup. I just didn't get it because it was $15.48. And he said it was the same thing, and he said if she will take the adult one, just go ahead and let her have the adult one. There's no reason in buying them both. So I did just buy the one. We can all take the one. And the school of the town that I live in has been let out for the flu because there's not enough kids in school. And then the school that's like 8 miles from there also let out today from the flu. So that's 2 schools that's been let out from so many kids with the flu. So I just want to make sure that my daughter stays healthy. I want to try to not let her get the stomach bug or get the flu, because it seems like that people's getting the stomach bug and it's turning into the flu. So I'm just going to go home, make supper. Let's see how it goes from here. Hey everyone, good afternoon. The first thing that I'm going to do now that I'm home is I'm going to start on supper, and I'm going to clean the kitchen. So the first thing that I do is usually put up my hair out of the way so that I don't get my hair in the food. Now I'm going to move you guys to a different spot because you can't really see much here, just my refrigerator, and see if you guys can see some of the kitchen, and I'll talk to you while I clean. So hang on here and let's move this bowl that I have you guys sitting in. See if this will work. It's going to be a little bit lower, but if that's okay, you guys can kind of see me and see me as I work on my kitchen. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a cookie sheet, get the pork chops started. Okay, got my Cookie sheet, you guys, my kitchen is awful. I've got stuff strung everywhere. So I'm going to have to get that fixed. And it's driving me insane. Let me get my pork chops so I can get those in the oven and get those started. Package of pork chops here from Walmart. The seasoning that I use happens to be sitting here on the counter. So I'm going to open these up real quick. And then I just lay them on the cookie sheet. Oh, there's quite a few in this package. And this will feed me, my husband, daughter, and it will also leave some for my husband to take to work tomorrow and probably the next day. So I think I'm going to fix these few fried potatoes that I have, and then I'm going to fix them to go with it, and maybe a macaroni and cheese or something, and fix me a green bean or a broccoli. This seasoning that I use, it's not what's in it. While I flip these over, I'm going to tell you a story. A long time ago, when my grandmother, when she was married, she, of course, cooked a lot. Well, then, after her husband passed away, my grandpa, she didn't cook as often as she used to. Well, she went to Sam's Club and had bought these big seasonings this size. And she had a whole bunch of them. Well, we went down to visit one time, and she asked if we could use any of these seasonings, because she really didn't think she was going to use them anymore, and she didn't want them to go to waste. Well, there was salt, pepper, garlic salt, seasonal. Let me think what else. There was a whole bunch of different kinds of seasonings, onion powder, garlic powder, a whole bunch of different ones. And so, of course, my mom took a few, my sister took a few, I took a few, and then later on, my mom said, you know, I'm not going to use these, because we each had like 7 or 8 apiece. My mom said she's not going to use these, I can have them. My sister said, you know, we kind of all switched them in and out until we got the ones that we all used the most. And I took all of mine, which was a lot, 7 or 8 of these, and I dumped them all together in one Ziploc bag. So it was all things that coordinated together. I didn't dump the things together that didn't coordinate. Like, I still have a chili flake and a cilantro flake, and I still have those. I didn't dump it in here with this. I dumped it all together, 1 gallon Ziploc bag, shook it up, and I put it in 2 different containers. And so I still have some left, and I love it, and it's one of the best seasonings that I've got, and I'll never be able to replace it or make it again, but I do love it. I'll stick these in the oven. I put those in the broiler at 500 degrees, and that's how I cook my pork chops, is just by broiling them. Now, I'm going to cut these potatoes, and I'm going to get them started in a skillet. So real quick, I'm going to start this skillet here, and it's my big cast iron skillet. It already has some grease in it from where I cooked bacon yesterday. So I'm just going to use that bacon grease to cook my fried potatoes in. So I'm going to give these a quick wash real quick. Get them cleaned off. So I have told y'all before that I have my daughter that's younger, and then I have 2 sons that are older. And they are both, they're twins, and they're 20 years old. And we decided after we had those 2 boys that would be enough for a while. And we got them raised. They were almost 13 when we decided to have Ava. And so we had her. We love it. It's almost like starting over again, because now that they're 20, they're out of the house. And what I was going to say is that I'm so blessed. Those boys are 2 of the best boys and the best brothers that a mother could ask for. I have this little scoop. I'm not sure what it is, but I use it to things like this when I'm cutting on my cutting board. I scoop up all my potatoes on it. I dropped one. Scoop all of my potatoes up on it, and then I go carry them over here to the skillet. Makes for easy transport. But anyway, what I was saying is I am so blessed to have those 2 boys. This year for Christmas, one of the things that sticks out to me every time I use it is this cutting board and the knives. One of my sons asked me what I'd like to have for Christmas, and I said, you know, I could really use a new big wooden cutting board. So he got me the biggest one I'm sure he could find, Pioneer Woman, which I love her products, cutting board. And my other son didn't ask me what I wanted for Christmas. And I thought, well, okay, maybe he has something in mind. Well, he got me some knives to go with my cutting boards. Super sweet idea. I couldn't believe that he thought of that, but I guess because one son told the other one that he was getting a cutting board, the other son decided that maybe I needed some new knives to go with my cutting board. So I really enjoy it. Okay, real quick, I'm going to get these potatoes cut up. I'm going to get them over the frying pan, and I'll get back to you in just a second. So the other day, I was watching Keto Ginger's channel. Her name's Amanda. I was watching her, and she was doing a live. I'm going to empty my dishwasher. And she was doing a live show, and I was watching her and taking in what she had to say. Well, she said that she was mortified because of her trash can was full, and you could see it in the background. I thought, you know, there's probably not a day that goes by that my trash can doesn't get full. And there's even days that my trash can gets full and it doesn't get carried out. Everybody else, I'm sure. So I told my husband that the house had gotten out of control and I needed to clean and do some laundry. And, you know, men, usually they're all just laid back. Nothing really seems to bother them. But I told him, I said, I wouldn't hate for anybody to walk into my house and see it this way. And he said, hon, we live here. I said, I realize that we live here, but I hate that my house looks like this. And he said, you're never going to have a picture perfect house because we live here. And I had decided that I was never going to show my house on YouTube, that I wouldn't show my house dirty, and there's no way I would do that. Well, then when am I ever going to do a video? If I'm not willing to do what it takes and to show what it takes to have a video, then I would have to live in a test kitchen somewhere, because being normal and having a normal life wouldn't work. So I decided I've just got to jump in with both feet if that's what I'm going to do and if that's how I'm going to live, because I cannot have a perfect kitchen all the time or a perfect house. And I guess that's why they've made Clean With Me videos. Everyone has realized that they can't have a perfect house all the time, so they figured might as well video them cleaning it, and they will kill two birds with one stone. They will be able to clean their house, and they will have a YouTube video. So, great idea for whoever thought of that. So, I'm going to keep putting up my dishwasher and get my sink loaded. Okay, I want to ask you guys a question. With my fried potatoes, I just cut up an onion, and I'm going to put it in with my fried potatoes. I just wanted to know, does anybody else do that? Is that a southern thing? Is that something that maybe I learned from my mother? Just leave in the comments below, or give me a thumbs up if you also put onions in your fried potatoes. I got this cup. Let me see. I didn't get it. Somebody got this cup for my daughter. Let me show you. It's got this big of a hole. I love this cup. It's glass. It's got a plastic liner on it, but I hate it when it comes to washing it. I will not let her put anything in it besides water, because I don't want to have to clean that thing. So I make sure that anytime she uses that, she only puts water in it. Let me stir my fried potatoes real quick. Let's see. Pause. Okay, so I moved you guys in a little bit so you wasn't so far out while I'm going to stand here and wash these few dishes that I have. The little cups and glasses that you buy that are so cute, and they have their initials on them, and they're all cutesy things and got lids, and I get to where I hate those. I hate trying to find the matches. I hate matching stuff up. You guys have that same problem? And when you go to match up lids or bottles, or you never can find the matching set. And then when it comes time to gather everything up, you've got everything under the sun you ever needed and more. So what I'm going to do real quick is put up these dishes. I have a pile of dry dishes, clean dishes right here. This cutting board is, and I'm going to get all these put up where I can get the ones that I'm washing over in that area. Let's get that done. I had mentioned the other day that I make my own macaroni and cheese sauce, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I have just my elbow noodles in a glass jar here. I have this. Let me see if it tells you how many ounces. No, it doesn't. It's a little Tupperware cup from way long ago that I've had for a really long time. We had these when I was a little kid. 2 scoops of these into a boiling pot of water. And I would say it's probably 6 or 8 ounces. It may be a cup, maybe a little more. But I put 2 scoops like this over in the boiling pot of water. I just find this cheaper this way, and everybody in my family seems to like it. It seems like when you buy the boxed macaroni, you just don't get very much macaroni in there. There's a whole lot of cheese, but not a lot of macaroni. And then for my macaroni, I also buy a box of cheese sauce like this, and it has 3 packages of cheese in it. And then I buy these, and these are usually, you can only find them individually, and they are jalapeno cheese sauce. So I put 1 package of this and 1 package of this into the macaroni, and that's how I make it for our family. And sometimes I put bacon bits in it also, or if I have real bacon, I'll put it in there with it and make a bacon macaroni and cheese. I have my oven set at 500 degrees, and that's the broil temperature. And I have my pork chops in the broil temperature. And so what I do is I just broil them for probably 4 or 5 minutes each side, and I just flip them over when they're done. And that's the way that I have. Now my mom, she used to always fry pork chops. That's the way I was always used to eating pork chops. But when I married my husband, he said he didn't like them when I fixed him pork chops. And I asked his mom how she made pork chops, and she told me. And so I started doing them the way that he likes them. Which I'm glad she taught us that way, because it's a whole lot better for us than fried pork chops. These are just broiled ones. So that's better for us. Now I'm trying to clean some of my cast iron so I can make my daughter's broccoli. And when you cook the broccoli the way I cook it, I have to have 2 flat cast iron skillets. And so I'm trying to get both of those good and clean. And I had cooked bacon in one a few days ago, so I'm trying to get the bacon grease cleaned out of it. I got the other one drying on the stove. And then I'm going to cook her this crown of broccoli. It's this big. Plus we got a few more pieces down here, and she usually eats the whole crown when I fix it for her like this. She seems to really like it this way. So now I think all my pork chops are done. I flipped them around. I put the other ends. I've got a big cookie sheet, and so they won't all fit in the oven at the same time. So I put one end in there, bake that end, flip it around, bake the other end, flip them over, bake. So it takes a little while to get all, I think I've got 8 of them to get done, maybe 9. Okay, so the macaroni and cheese is done. It's cooked. I'm going to put that in a strainer, and then I just go ahead and put it in a plastic container, because what my husband doesn't eat is going to go into the refrigerator and it's going to be saved for the next day that he eats it. So it's just easier if I go ahead and just mix it up in a plastic container. I'm going to show you how I do this now. Okay, I got the oven turned off, and I'm glad because it's starting to get hot in here. And then I take both of these cheese sauces, regular Velveeta, and then the jalapeno cheese Velveeta. And I take both of these, cut the tops off, put them into the bowl here, then I'm going to stir them around. I'm going to see if I can pick you guys up and show you what these 2 different cheeses look like. Alright, right, look down here. There it is. There is the white cheese and the yellow cheese. The white is the jalapeno, the yellow is the regular. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a good stir, and that broccoli's doing great. The pork chops are done. Let me check on the fried potatoes and see how they're doing. You guys, look at these flowers my daughter picked the other day. Aren't they so cute? She went outside and was picking flowers, and I thought these were the most prettiest things. And she picked me through them, and they're already starting to die, of course, but they're beautiful, and I love them. So I'm just going to sit here and wash dishes for a few minutes. It shouldn't be much longer, and my husband will be home. And I'm going to take the fried potatoes, and I'm going to put them over in like a strainer bowl. It's a Tupperware strainer bowl. That way they'll strain the grease off of them. Oh, then I'll put the pork chops also probably on top of it. I'm hoping they'll fit on top of it. And I'll put them on top of the fried potatoes. And I'll just put it all together in one bowl. The only problem with having these bento box, lunchbox fun kit, these little picks we talked about this morning, the only fun part's washing them. I tried to put them in a little bowl and just run some water in there and wash them like that, but they didn't stay in the bowl. They all floated out. Okay, guys, my husband's here, so I'm going to end this video. I've got supper done, and we're just going to enjoy our time together, eat, and watch a little bit of a movie. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching. Oh, shoot. This poor little kid was riding his scooter across the road, and I accidentally honked my horn. I bet he thinks I was honking at him, but I wasn't. Okay. So, and then, it's hot in here. I only lost 4 or 5, not too bad.
Can you cook it with that sauce again?
Yes. I moved you guys in a little bit so you wasn't so far out. Just like, oh, can't see me. There we go. So, oh, railroad tracks. Okay. I put 2 scoops